Alright, so welcome to today's lesson. You'll need your composition book for notes and a pencil or pen. Alright, today we're going to talk about applications of problems, of proportions or word problems. Donna drives her delivery van 800 miles in 3 days. At this rate, how far will she drive in 15 days? Now, you need to notice that the first part of your problem gives you a rate. It tells us that we drive 800 miles in 3 days. So let's write that as a rate. I need to identify in my second part what is missing. Well, what do I have? I have days. What do I need? The miles. So when I set up my proportion, I need to set up miles with miles and days equal days. So my proportion should look like 800 miles in 3 days is how many miles in 15 days. Now I'm going to do my cross products to solve it. 800 times 15 and 3 times x gives me 3x equals 12,000. Divide both sides by 3 and x equals 4,000 miles. Don't forget to label it. So you always set up a proportion with matching to matching equals matching to matching. So let's take a look at this problem. If 3 sweatshirts cost $74.97, what is the cost of 5 sweatshirts? Hit pause and see if you can work this out. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you set your proportion up as long as you keep the same thing with the same thing. So you can set this up as 3 over $74.97 or $74.97 over 3. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to set mine up as 3 over $74.97. Now that's sweatshirts that I have here, and that's cost here. So that means sweatshirts go here, and I'm looking for the cost here. Set up your cross products. 3 times x is 3x. 5 times $74.97 is $374.85. I'm going to do what next? Divide both sides by 3. And you get x is $124.95. Now something you should also do when you're doing word problems is ask yourself, does that sound reasonable? 3 shirts, $74.97, 5 sweatshirts, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Okay, I'd like for you to do this one on your own in your notes. Okay, so on a map, 1.5 inches represents 45 miles. Let's write that. Equals 5 inches apart is how many miles? So now I'm going to cross product. I'm going to change that 1 1/2 to a decimal so it works nicer. Now I can only do that with decimals that don't repeat. And then 45 times 5 is 225. Divide both sides by 1.5, and I get x equals 150. 150 is not my correct answer because it's not what? Labeled 150 miles. All right, so I want you to do this problem in your notes and bring it to class with you tomorrow. Go ahead and hit pause and work it out. Okay, the next question is geometric applications of similar figures. When you have similar shapes, that means they're proportional. So if I had 2 triangles that were similar, then I could set up a proportion of missing sides to find out what this x is. So the best thing to do is take triangle equal to triangle. So in this problem, I'm going to set up my proportion as 21 over 24 equals, now the 21 should match the 7 and the 24 should match the x. So it would look like 21 over 24 equals 7 over x. Let's do cross products to see if it works out. What's 21 times x? 21x equals 7 times 24. So I've got 21x equals 168. Divide both sides by 21 and I get x equals 8 inches. Now let's take a look at that. 7 inches, 8 inches, 21, 24. Yep, that looks right. So I want you to try this one in your notes. In this particular problem, you've got two missing sides. So you're going to find x first and then find y. Go ahead and hit pause and solve that proportion. We'll work them out when we get to class. Thank you. Have a nice evening.